Premiering at Sundance to rave reviews and even winning an award, the 40-year-old version features the writing and direction of Radha Blank. It tells the story of a struggling New York City playwright who attempts to find some success and inspiration after reinventing herself as a rapper. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and I'm on the couch. All right, this is Ronald, and I am on the couch after watching the 40-year-old version. The 40-year-old version on Netflix, directed by Radha Blank, written by Radha Blank, starring Radha Blank, Peter Kim, Oswin Benjamin, Imani Lewis, Haskiri Velasquez, Antonio Ortiz, TJ Adams, Jacob Ming-Trent, Stacy Sargeant, William Oliver Watkins, Meghan O'Neill, Andre Ward, Welker White, and Reed Birney. All right, so the 40-year-old version, it is a movie on Netflix, original film by Radha Blanks, who is actually, this is the first I've heard of her, so I'm not exactly sure what she does. I think she is a rapper. I know she is a creative, and I know she lives in New York, but I'm not sure what her claim to fame was before this movie. But I think in talking about the movie, you'll kind of get more of who she is and what she does. So it's very autobiographical in the sense that Radha Blanks is 44 in the movie. She's portrayed as being 3 months from 40. And it's really about her grappling with the fact that she's turning 40 and she doesn't feel like she's done a lot with her life. She was popular, and when she was younger, she was on a 30 under 30 list of popular playwrights. So she's portraying a playwright in New York City. But none of her work has quite panned out. And now she's working as a teacher, teaching drama and theater to kids in Harlem. She lives in a small New York City apartment, taking public transportation to work, just living her life. It's not really a woe is me story as much as a more of, what am I doing right now? Like, what am I doing with my life? Almost more of a midlife crisis story, if anything. And it's very relatable in that sense, because here we have this charming woman, and I mean, Radha is extremely charming in this movie. Gives you a lot of Issa Rae vibes when it starts off. A lot of the awkward interactions, a lot of kind of laughing at things that happen to her, or her wink nodding to the camera as things happen to her, and not necessarily directly to the camera, because she doesn't really break the fourth wall much. There's one time when she does, but other than that, there's not much breaking of the fourth wall. But very much you relate to her very quickly. And you're watching her kind of go about her life and live her life. And at some point, the movie is just, it's slowly just beginning to charm your socks off. It's filmed in black and white, and it's beautiful, like in the black and white that it's filmed in. I believe it was actually, filmed on film. I thought I saw it was on something millimeter. All the cinephiles are going to hate me for not knowing that one, but it was on film and it was in black and white, which there's something about it that just made it so, again, the only word I keep thinking is charming and warm. And as somebody who likes movies that are set in New York City, I like any movie set in New York City. I mean, I can watch a movie that is a 2-star movie. If it's set in New York City, it automatically becomes a 3-star movie. And it's not because, it's New York, it's 3 stars. It's just typically I'm watching it, and as New York becomes another character in the movie, I'm just like, I'm here for this. a lot of the reason why I like Broad City so much. I love that show, but it's the New Yorkiness of it that I really enjoy as well. And this movie does a lot of embracing the fact that she lives in New York and there are changes, but without being so heavy handed about gentrification and all the weird things that are happening in the city. I mean, we've talked about gentrification a lot, and there's actually a large aspect of a discussion of gentrification in the form of the play that she is writing in the movie, but they don't really discuss it nearly as much as it's happening around them. And you kind of see these worlds that are just living right next to each other. You see like the more gritty side of New York and the resentful New Yorkers who are who don't want to let the gritty side go away. And you see the more hoity-toity side and the Broadway aspects of New York. So watching them side by side is very interesting. At the root of this, I feel like it's a lot of this is a standard romantic comedy. So if you like romantic comedies, I think you're going to really enjoy this movie. It's not, and when I say romantic comedy, I mean, there are elements of romance and there are elements of love, and there's even a sex scene in it, but it doesn't revolve around that. Those are all elements to the story, but it is a romantic comedy in that she's in love with her craft. She's in love with the city. She's in love with the idea of who she is. And all of these external factors are kind of preventing her from getting to where she thinks she should be. And so it's very interesting to watch how she navigates that for the duration of the movie. I like the things that they do with Broadway. There's a lot of digs about how Broadway views diversity. There's cracks about, oh, I'm doing an all male version of Steel Magnolias. Oh, I'm doing an all woman version of 12 Angry Men, or I'm doing an integrated version of Fences. It's very funny watching how they're kind of poking fun at how Broadway and Hollywood kind of just churns out the same thing, but with a twist, with some sort of twist. And, oh, this will really put this will upend the whole thing if we just change this one aspect of it. So I thought that was interesting how they engage that. And another way they engage that is by having Radha write a play that she's proud of, and then watching as the producers change it in a way that she's not so proud of. And there's a scene in here where Radha is kind of having that conversation where one of the actors in her play is saying, why do you have this character talking this way? And there's a conversation between the white director and one of the white lead actors in the play talking about why this black lead actor has to talk a certain way. And Radha, instead of, calling it out for what it is, kind of becomes an agent of the white supremacy in the workshopping of her own play. And it's very funny to watch that, because I think that it shows a bit of nuance of what black creatives have to deal with in the creative industry, trying to make things that they want to make and still having to deal with white producers and white gatekeepers who they have their own ideas of what they want black people to make, or what they want to be seen, what they want to see from black people. And it really, really engages that argument a lot in a way that I think is going to make some people uncomfortable, because it's kind of what happens every day. That new diverse hit play, that new thing that you really want to see that's in theaters, all that stuff, that all of the, the feel good things that we want to see, that has a diverse cast, that has a black playwright, a black director, all that is still influenced by white supremacy in a way that audiences will never know. But the people, the playwrights, the directors, the actors, they can all see in the workings of these things. So it's very interesting to see it all play out. And I think at the middle of this movie is a grappling that Radha is having with being a sellout. Like, I don't want to be a sellout. That's what she's saying. I want to be successful and I want to make it, but I still want to make it on my own terms, and I don't want to be a sellout. But time is running out for me. And that's a very, very real thing that many creators of color deal with, where they're saying, like, I want to make it, but time is running out, but I don't necessarily want to have to make it in a way that makes me feel disgusting. And she's grappling with that all while, and I didn't even get to the point that while she's grappling with all that, she's still trying to reinvent herself as a rapper. She has this whim to say, hey, there's this thing I did in high school that I was really good at. Maybe I can start doing that again. And that storyline is interesting because it brings a dimension to the movie that I really start to enjoy. As soon as she starts rapping and freestyling and all that, it really, the movie kind of opens up a little bit for me, and then it kind of starts to make more sense. It starts in a way that's very familiar, that we've kind of all seen before, you know, the person dissatisfied with their life, but then it goes to a place where it's just like, I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, this is really, really, really enjoyable. I think it could have been a little shorter. It was 2 hours and 4 minutes. I think it probably could have been about 20 minutes shorter. There's some scenes in there where I'm just like, I don't know if we really needed this. I can see that you probably didn't want to cut it, but I don't know if we really needed this. And the casting was fantastic. I think everybody she worked with, I enjoyed. Her best friend is a gay man who she's been friends with since she was in high school. He's played by an Asian guy. And that is a trope that is a role that could have easily been played by a white man. But I really appreciated that the casting that they did there. I thought it was very intentional on their parts, and I really enjoyed that. There's interactions that she has with a homeless guy outside of her apartment that's really funny and really enjoyable, brings a new element to the movie. Especially there's one part towards the end of the movie that I really, really enjoyed. And of course, she has an interaction with these high schoolers that she teaches, as well as the producer that's helping her make her mixtape. So all of those interactions feel very authentic, very real. And I love the way it's written. I love the way they engage with each other. It's just brilliant acting. This movie is it's a tiny little movie, but it made me feel good. I watched it sitting on the couch. This is perfect for Netflix. It was perfect for sitting on your couch at the house, by yourself, with someone. It's a very enjoyable movie. I think people are going to like it. By the time it's over, you'll say, oh, I mean, I think it was really enjoyable. I would give this movie 4.5 stars. I'd give it 4 stars, not 4.5. I'd give it 4 of 5 stars. Like I said, it was a little long. There were some elements that I think probably could have been a little better, but solid 4-star movie. Solid 4-star movie. Yeah, so check it out on Netflix. And with that, Leaving the Theater is a production of ohitsBigRon Studios. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. To find out more about this show and other ohitsBigRon Studio shows, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ohitsBigRon. That's at ohitsBigRon. If you like this show, check out our sister show, Time Well Spent. Leaving the Theater will be back soon, but until then, I'll be here on the couch.